Back here on CBS Sports HQ, presented by USAA, proudly taking care of the military community and their families since 1922. Today, we are highlighting former Navy quarterback Keenan Reynolds, just the fourth player to rush for over 30 touchdowns in a single season. All college football fans each year have this classic rivalry circled on their calendar. And this weekend on CBS will be the annual battle between Army and Navy, a game that recently has really been an incredible one to watch. 8 of the last 11 games between Army and Navy have come down to one possession. The Black Knights have won 6 games since they snapped a 14-game losing streak back in 2016. But Navy really closing that gap. It's also going to be a very special game for a CBS legend who will be calling his last Army-Navy game, Gary Danielson. Gary, it is so great to see you. This is a special one, but having called many Army-Navy games in the past, what about this rivalry has been so special and unique for you?
Wow, it's hard to kind of put it in words. The first thing that comes to mind, it's humbling, basically, to do it. It means so much to so many people, but I think it's the people that are involved in it. Everyone, the players, the parents. What comes to mind is these are families that are willing to sacrifice, players, young adults that are willing to sacrifice. Things that are important to them are their country, their family. They're willing to help others first. That famous JFK quote when President Kennedy was talking, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. We're watching 2 teams that take that to heart. And it's not a hate. It's a great rivalry, but everybody involved respects each other so much because they know how much sacrifice all these people are putting into this game, and it's a joy to be a part of.
When I came into work today, Gary, I had to go back in my camera roll and check out some photos and videos because I had a chance to go to the game last year in Washington, D.C. And you have to say to those watching, if you have a chance to go to an Army-Navy game, it has to be a bucket list item for you. It was unbelievable. I do want to dive a little deep into this matchup in particular, starting with the Navy, who is aiming to win 10 games for a second consecutive season. Just how impressive has Coach Brian Newberry and this team been this year?
Yeah, that's really an interesting take because when the change was made, the former head coach, Kenny Niumatalolo, had done such a great job over his career. And he seemed to be the right guy for the job, and they'd had some success, but they had slipped a little bit. And I think those in charge felt they needed new blood, and Brian Newberry was on that staff, and he seems to be the perfect guy. He's very strategic, former defensive coordinator, has a big picture of how football is supposed to be played. He seems very calm. He doesn't overreact. I think his players respect his leadership, and I think because he was inside the program, he understands what it takes for these players to get ready for these games. And boy, what he's done, the winning, it could be, he had the first year where he had to kind of turn it around, but since then he's got him really going. He's got a great senior class here this year, and he's using him wisely. And, his quarterback has come through. He came through a year ago, and Blake is having a good year there again this year.
Let's flip the script here to Army. This team started 1-3, have since won 5 of their last 7 games. What do you think has been the biggest difference maker for their turnaround midseason?
They were so close a year ago when they played for the championship in their conference, and they almost limped into this Army-Navy clash that means so much to them. And I think the way Navy spoiled the game a year ago in this game has just stuck in their craw. And when they got off to that slow start, and then the leadership of Coach Monkin, who understands them, I think the leadership, this is where, we're going to be so proud of these guys as they take their next step, as all of the coaches in this game. These guys are cadets first and then football players, and they put so much time in this game. they look up at that 1-3. I mean, they're winners. They don't like looking at that. Everything they do in their life, they've succeeded at. And these are the type of guys we want fighting for us as we go into the future as our country. And they looked at that record, and there's no give up in these guys. And I'm not surprised at all. They're a good football team, and they understood what it was like to finish off this season. And now they got a chance to avenge last year's defeat against Navy.
I'm really glad that you touched on both head coaches who have really made a huge impact. You mentioned Army's Jeff Monkin. Just how impressive has his tenure been with Army?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've been there all the way with Jeff. Got onto the series in 2009, I think. And, that was when Navy had that long 14-game winning streak, and Jeff took it head on. He's a tremendous leader. He's a tremendous motivator. I think he understands the cadet life. He respects what they put into it. He's extremely tough on them, but I think he understands how much they can handle and what he demands of them. And I think he pushes them a little farther than they might go on their own, but they accept it. His football teams accept it, and he leaves with toughness. Two of his words are toughness and tenacity, and you can see the way his team plays. It's not, to me, about X's and O's with Coach Monkin. It's about his inspiring his team, and those guys play like that in every game I've ever seen.
It's going to be a good one. It always is, and I have a feeling it will be the most memorable game yet. We will all be watching, Gary. Soak this one in. Enjoy it, okay?
You got it.
It all gets underway Saturday on CBS. Classic rivalry. Army and Navy going head-to-head at 3 p.m. Eastern Time.